my goodness, it's been a long time, and I apologize for that, but I'm hoping you're doing well. Welcome to 2026, if you're watching this at any other time in the future. My name is Teresa, and this is Wigs and Combat Boots. And for those of you that have been around for a bit, I apologize for the gap. Life has just been very busy. Been healthy enough to be working, and the work involves travel, so it's been very interesting. Not to say that things have been completely smooth sailing. There are still some challenges, but the big beast has still stayed in remission, and knock on wood, they formally told me that was in remission just last month in December of 2025. I want to thank you guys who have stuck through since the beginning. Listen to my rambling, listen to all the challenges, and you're still hanging in there, and I appreciate that. But if you're new here, you don't know any of that stuff, and that's okay. Because the other reason why we have this channel, besides that crazy beast, is just lifestyle in general, but to talk about wigs. And honestly, it's just an escape, and there's nothing wrong with that. Especially with things going on in the world, especially as of late, it's been extremely interesting. My background is military, and it has affected some aspects of my job now, even though I'm retired. And so this is a great escape, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come online. And before we get into the wig, let me just real quick do a small little brag on the hairs that are growing so far. This is what it's looking like. It's tamed down just a hair, but it's quite frizzy. So for those of you that have gone through chemo and potentially something called CAR T cell therapy, which is an immunotherapy against refractive or relapsed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, this potentially could be the result of the hair growing back in. So slowly but surely it's growing back in, but I'm still playing with wigs. And that's part of the fun of wigs, is that you can switch up your look. It doesn't have to be something permanent, like dyeing your hair or cutting your hair or doing anything long lasting or with longer repercussions. And so that's where today's wig comes in, is having a little bit of fun. Now, one of the things that I noticed, I have a stash of wigs, of course, that I started buying when I was in the throes of being under treatment. And I haven't bought wigs really consistently in about almost, I don't know, 8 or 10 months now. And I was realizing that the cost of wigs are getting just a little bit, I don't know, maybe I'm just noticing it more, but they seem to be getting more expensive. Now, I know that there's budget offerings out there, and I guess I'd stayed away from them just long enough to now appreciate the budget offerings that are out there. And one in particular was suggested by one of you. So there's a shout out I've got here for you to S.A. Kenyon 2767. Lady, thank you so much for one, hanging around for as long as you have and giving your feedback and your support and all your kind words and wishes. That goes for really all of you. But she in particular brought up about the cost of wigs. She's a wig wearer, and she has been trying to find some good budget wigs, and she suggested one a while back. And when I decided to go ahead and dip my toe into buying another wig, I thought, you know what, let's take a look at the one she suggested. And she suggested this brand called Gorgius, Gorgius. So I went looking for it, and I found it on Amazon, and it came fast. So of course that's the reason why I chose Amazon. And I have it right here. I have not opened it up at all since I bought it. This is what the box looks like right here. And it's described on Amazon as a brown highlight bob with a lace front. It's a glueless wig, and it's pre-cut, pre-plucked, and it's supposed to have a side part, and it's about 12 inches long, so not super long. When I was looking at it on Amazon, it was going for about $55, which is not exactly cheap, but in comparison with some of the wigs that I have reviewed previously that were not what I would consider budget wigs, those were in the neighborhood of just under $200 to above, especially those human hair wigs. Those ones can get pretty expensive. But there are some human hair wigs that I may potentially branch out to that are not quite as pricey as some of the ones that I've reviewed before. So the wig comes in a net cover to keep it all together. Looks like there was a hair clip trying to keep something in place, but it has since fallen off of the wig and is just kind of dangling there. But that's one of the extras, I guess, or some of the extras that the wig came with. So it's got two of these plastic hair clippy thingies. Looks like there's a an edge band. So basically trying to do those baby hairs when you're trying to blend a hairline. Comes with an edge brush. It looks like there's some documentation on Gorgius of the care for keeping the wig nice and free-ish. And it looks like it comes with a wig cap, which we will be using today because this right here, this hair is going to be getting in the way if I don't tame it down. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look at the wig real quick. Let's take this net off. And I'm just dropping stuff everywhere. Whew, static. So at the time of this filming, it is January 2026. I live in the mid-ish west, just east of St. Louis. And it's a little bit chilly, but warmer than it's supposed to be. And it's dry, so everything is staticky. So that's what I'm dealing with right now, is the static. All right, so this is the wig. I'll tell you right now, I am loving these streaks of color. I love how straight she is too, because as you can tell, I don't have straight hair. So the kind of hair we don't have is the kind of hair we want, right? And which is the fun part of wigs, is that you can change up your look without doing anything crazy drastic to your natural hair. So let me turn her over so you can see the cap construction. There is a very thin or very narrow left part on her, so that in terms of parting options, it limits it to just that one parting option. She's got a lace cap, very stretchy. She's got combs in the sides of the front, just over where your ears would be, kind of at the sides. And then she's got these adjustable bands here, so it can be a little bit more snug to your head. And they're more like a bra strap kind of hook. And there's one more comb at the back. So if you have hair, those combs will come in handy to keep this wig from sliding around on you. All right, so let's go ahead and get this wig on and see how she looks. Okay. This is the wig straight out of the box. I have not done anything to her. There's that left side part. You can see my wig cap that I'm wearing right now to keep the hairs down. Now it said it is a pre-plucked hairline. That's what this is right here. It's a little bit more noticeable than most folks would like to have, so that's where you'd have to kind of melt it down with some glue to kind of, and maybe even use some eyeshadow or something like, or foundation or powder to just kind of camouflage that if it bothers you, if it doesn't quite blend with your skin. But for $55, this is not bad at all. And the color is gorgeous. It does look very, very natural. Now what I did notice is that here at the ear tabs on the wig construction itself, there's actually a cutout for your ears. So it's actually very comfortable. It doesn't cut into your ears at all, because I know there are some, when the wig cap can stretch really, really well, you can pull it down. And this, by the way, is quite stretchy, because with even though my hair is not very long, it's very thick. And so even with a wig cap on and trying to hold it all into place, it's still it's got a pretty good bump, but you can't even really tell with this wig. It camouflages it so well. And it's just, for 12 inches, this looks very, very nice. Now I'm going to put some information, specific details on the wig itself. You can see that it's got a darker root, and then it blends into those highlights. But the 12 inches are gorgeous. I think, even though I think this is more of a warm tone wig, and I do tend to prefer the cool toned ones, this would complement a ton of skin tones, and I mean a ton. So I don't think you could go wrong with this, and especially for the price. That is the thing that I want to bring up. With the cost of wigs these days, it's just, costs everything these days, let's be honest. But if we're trying to escape and have some fun, the ones that aren't necessarily hobbies and things that we actually need to use, because there are those of you out there who are suffering from hair loss that need to wear wigs as part of your everyday life kind of thing. The cost of wigs is getting to a point where it's almost not feasible. And so with companies that are still out there, and there are some companies I think that have already folded, But the ones that are still out there, still plugging along, trying to offer up these affordable options, that this is one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure I brought this up today, was to show that there are still some options. And S.A. Kenyon, thank you so much, girl, for suggesting this. I'm going to look back through your comments and look for some more suggestions that you had and use those as follow-up for this. Now, again, I still have my stash of other wigs that I have not reviewed, that I have worn. And one of the reasons why I continue to do wig reviews, even though they may not be the most cutting-edge or up-to-date wigs, is because we will get wigs on resale. You know, we'll get them from a wig sister, we'll buy them secondhand from somewhere, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's less expensive. They still have good life on them, and it just works out. You know, it's not something that's just discarded. And for those of you that have gone through the cancer struggles or struggles with alopecia, and you've got older wigs that you want to donate, there's nothing wrong with, you know, donating those as well to those in need, as opposed to reselling them either. I mean, it works all the way around. I've done both, donating and buying secondhand, and either way I think is awesome. So let me know what your thoughts are on this particular wig. Again, it's a less expensive option. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up today. And just because it's less expensive doesn't make it less pretty, that is for sure. So, as always, I am hopeful that you will have an awesome rest of your day and an even better tomorrow. And I'm going to try to see about working on getting some more videos out there, because by golly, you're hanging out with me. Let me try to keep it up, because I love hanging out with you and I love seeing your comments. We'll talk to you later.